Hi, everyone. A very warm and lovely welcome to Moments with Inonge, a platform that is dedicated to personal awareness and development. You are watching our very first financial literacy segment in the year 2021, and you are so very welcome. Guys, please do remember to participate during the segment. Ask your questions. Wherever you're not clear, please do ensure that you ask your questions. We have a very interesting topic for discussion. And in this financial literacy segment, we're going to be discussing how to serve. And with me in the studio is Joel, who is going to be taking us and helping us, just be enlightened on how to serve. So at this very point, for those that are watching us for the first time and those that are not actually acquainted to our schedule, we come online every Sunday. We have the inspirational segment at 1 p.m. Central African time. And every Monday, we have the financial literacy segment or the motivational segment. And on Tuesdays, we have the leadership segment at 7:45 p.m. That's 19:45 p.m. However, because of the Women's Day yesterday, we could not have the financial literacy segment, but then we just thought, okay, let's bring it on Tuesday to replace the leadership segment. I hope everyone that is tuned in actually did take time to watch the video that was posted for the Women's Day, meeting that I had with very powerful women and hosted by a very powerful gentleman that is actually standing with all the women that have chosen to challenge themselves towards growth. There is a free 30 minutes coaching session, which is actually the history to your future, the history of your future. So if you haven't enrolled for that free 30 minutes coaching, please do ensure you enroll for that. We have one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching on Moments with Inonge. We have coaching for Put Your Dream to the Test and the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell, as well as personal coaching. We also have the practical table, something that, really gladdens my heart, something that I have really poured out myself into. And the practical table, guys, is actually going on right now. We launched the practical table last week, Wednesday, and we kickstarted on Thursday. So meaning for those that haven't yet subscribed, between now and Thursday, you can begin and also have a seat at the practical table. It is very, very important. I cannot re-emphasize on the importance because I'm telling you, it's just the group to join. It's a private group on Facebook and WhatsApp, and we have Zoom lessons. And for those that are busy, their schedule is busy, we've actually cut it for you. What you can do is just follow up on the recorded live sessions that we had. So this one caters for everyone, and there is no excuse whatsoever. Our theme for the month of March is Understanding Will Establish Me. So for those that really want to know how they can save, understanding on how you can save your money is what is going to establish your savings. I am very excited because our topic is how to serve, and at this point I will bring in our guest, who so happens to be Joel, and he'll be co-hosting this session. I am very excited, guys. Like and share. Even before I bring him into the studio, please like and share. Drop your comments, let me know where you're watching from. And please, guys, I encourage you to participate. Drop those questions, ask those questions, because it is understanding that is actually going to establish you. If you're watching on Facebook, create a watch party and let others be part and parcel of tonight's financial literacy segment. If you're watching on YouTube, you can follow the link, click on it, and share the link with others. Share the link with your loved ones all those that you want to see financially established, this is the segment to watch. This is the segment to invite them. Invite somebody, and I can assure you they'll be glad you did. Tag a friend. These are some of the things that you should actually tag your friend for. Most of the times we tag friends for gossip, we tag friends, just over comedy, but there are certain things that add value to our lives that we should be able to tag friends to actually come along with. So we have quite a number of people watching, and we have Mwansa, and Mwansa is watching from England. Hey, Mwansa, thank you so much for joining us on this financial literacy segment. Hope and trust that you'll be enlightened, and hope and trust that you participate as well. We have got Chanda watching from Mongu. Chanda, thank you so much for tuning into the financial literacy segment. Hope and trust you'll be enlightened. We have Mwangala watching, and Mwangala says, my mentor watching from Kwahai. Thank you so much, Big Sis, for joining this segment. Hope and trust that you'll be enlightened. And we have Hilda, and Hilda is actually tagging Juliet to be part and parcel. Hilda, big up to you, big up to you for actually tagging somebody to be part and parcel of this financial literacy segment. Guys, let's tag our friends, let's share, let's like, let's create watch parties, and let's together become enlightened. Remember, one is too less a number to achieve greatness. It is when we gather together that we can actually achieve much more. So we have a comment also from Banda, and Banda is tagging Alice Temple. Sweetheart, thank you so much for tagging Alice to come along. Thank you so much. And Mwansa drops a comment and says, understanding will enlighten me. Indeed, understanding would definitely enlighten you. Okay, so at this point, we bring in our co-host on the financial literacy segment. And this is no other than Joel. Hey, Joel, you are welcome to Moments with Inonge's financial literacy segment. Please do feel free to introduce yourself.
Thanks, Inonge. You are asking people to tag and share. Did you share to the other page? Let's hope you do, because the other people are waiting there. All right. My name is Joel. Joel Mufari. I'm so passionate about finance. I am an accountant by profession, but I'm also a finance advisor. So today, like Inonge has mentioned, we are going to look at one aspect which is so exciting, learning how to save, something that we take for granted. Thank you so much.
You are so very welcome. Oh my God, I am so excited. I can't just wait to, just dive in and begin, to just go into this segment. So in order for us to go into this segment, I'll begin by asking a question. Joel, why should we save money?
Well, Enonde, that's a very wonderful question. Why we should save money? I can give you a bit of answers. But we save money because we want to spend it in the future. All right. So that one is what makes an umbrella, because we want to spend on something in the future. But now we can break it down. There are so many reasons that we should be able to save money. I'm sure Inonge will also save money.
Of
We
course.
save money. Yes, we save money. If you want to buy something in the future, for instance, you want to build a house. A house may cost something very expensive, but for you to have that amount of money, you have to put bit by bit. So that's one of the reasons that we save money. We save all money also if we want to run away from borrowing from people. Borrowing money from people may not be so good sometimes. That's why we should be able to, whenever we have an emergency or something, let us be able to go on our own funds. So there are so many reasons that we save money. And the other aspect which is a very important aspect, why we save money. Is we save so that we can invest. We have so many investment areas that we need. But how do you invest if you don't have anything? So you need to save money and invest. For those who wants to start a business, we save money in order to start a business. Sometimes some of the business may require something that which is very big. And for you to put money together, that's when you can be able to achieve. So in a nutshell, Inonge, that's the reason why we save money. Yeah.
Oh, all right, great.
Yes.
There's a scripture that says actually that the borrower is slave to the lender. So,
Exactly.
I feel it's so, so important, just to have your freedom as an individual, not always to dance to somebody's tune. And by so doing, I guess saving is the answer to this. So, to take us a little bit more further in our discussion, Joel, I have so many questions for you. I hope you are ready for this. I know you are.
I'm here, Nongi. I'm here for you.
Okay, guys, ensure if you've got any questions, please drop them in the comments. Just drop your questions in the comments, and I will be able to bring them up on the screen. So, what are the saving tips that one can undertake to successfully save?
All right. You must appreciate that a lot of people find it very difficult to save. Yeah,
Oh,
because we have so many competing needs that need our finances. But if you are a very serious person and you want to save, one of the tips that I can share with you, you have
mm,
to pay yourself first. For instance, you have a salary. You get a salary, say a salary of 1,000 kwacha, and
mhm,
you've made it that you'll be saving 100 kwacha per month. So
mm,
first of all, when you have your pay
mhm.
yourself first. So that is tip number one. You have
Okay.
to pay yourself first. Okay. So when you pay yourself first, and the remaining balance is what you are going to budget for all your needs. So that is the
Mm,
number one. Number
mm,
two, you need to have your saving goals. All right. Some of the saving goals, for instance, you want to build a house or you want to buy a house, you want to buy a car. So a car may cost something which is more expensive than what you usually get on a monthly basis. So meaning
mhm,
that if you say, for instance, you're saving for something like a car 50,000, you are to be
mm.
your monthly saving goals. You're going to divide that amount by the number of months, and that will be the monthly saving goals. So if
Oh,
you don't have a saving goal, it's very difficult for you to save because you can be procrastinating on that
mm,
one. Right?
mm,
So now, when you have that saving goal, you start visualizing it. Okay? The moment you start visualizing it, you start seeing it, that's when you are going to sacrifice. Because for you to sacrifice, there must be something you're able to see. All right. So
mm,
that's another tip. And you find that very often people fail to save. Like you
mm,
find that there are always things that need our money. But what I've found to be so easy for me personally is that I have automated my savings. Like for instance, my saving just something just saved on my behalf, like or a deduct. You
mm,
can go to the bank, instruct the bank to say, on such a particular day, deduct
mhm,
this amount of money. So meaning that what I'll be accessing is something that is after my saving. So the automation is able to do the saving on my behalf. All right. There are
mm.
other areas that you may need to save. Like there are some cooperative. You can join a cooperative. All right. You can join a saving group. There are these saving groups we hear about village banking, all right, which
Yes.
is very common now. Yes, you can
Mm,
join the village banking because the moment you do your saving there, it will motivate you to save more. When you are able to see other people saving, it will be able to motivate you. So the village banking is one of the areas that can help you to save. The other area that I usually ask myself to say, if I'd started when I was young, I would have
Mm-hmm.
saved a lot. So we need to teach our children how to save. Let us
Yeah.
teach our children when they are in tender age. You know those pig banks? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's introduce them. And you know what? Yeah, just ask the children. They have ideas. So they usually learn maybe from their preschool, from primary school. Actualize it. Start giving them bit by bit. Let them know how to save. It will be so amazing if somebody can start whilst very young. But it's never too late. Anyone can save at whatever age. So those are the few saving tips that I have for you now.
Oh, awesome, awesome, awesome. Most of the times whenever we think of a deduct, what happens is that you only think about it, say, if for instance you have a loan and then you go to the bank with the person that you're actually indebted to, and then they say, whenever the salary comes in, let a part of my salary go to this person. you know
Yeah.
most times that's the way we look at it. Most times that's the only way we think of a deduct working. But today, Joel, you have expressed a very important point. So, I've learned something so far. Oh my God, I don't know how many things I'm just going to leave, this segment with. So, actually, one can go to the bank and actually instruct them to say, for instance,
Yeah.
their salary actually comes into their current account. So, one can say,
Yeah.
immediately my salary comes in, slash a portion and let this portion just go into my savings account, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's
And
great.
the other aspect of saving, we should not just save for the sake of it. All right. That when you save, but at the same time, as we are
Mm,
doing our saving, we should be able to invest. All right.
mhm.
So if you move around town, you're going to find that there are some organizations that have these facilities for saving. And at the end of the year or end of the month, they're able to give you something on top, which is interest. All right. I've seen there are other places like Bayport, Prudential, all these places. When you save, you can have a deduct, the money can go that side and you can have something. So instead of just saving and leave it in the bank, because if you leave it in the bank, one day you start just following it.
That's true. That's true. So actually, the greatest tip is serve with a goal. Save with a
Yes,
goal. Awesome,
exactly.
awesome.
You
Because
need to
sometimes,
save.
yeah, because sometimes, you find that somebody just saves money, and whenever they have, this pressure here and there, they just go and withdraw the money. Okay.
Yes.
Another question, another question for you. So, saving money is difficult if you don't have a good income. How can you effectively save in that circumstance?
Yeah, I've had a number of those questions. All right. Uh,
Mm,
I was in Kabwe in one of the compounds, and we are doing the financial literacy training, and that question was coming more frequently to say our income are so small, we can't save. So this is we any income you can save at whatever income. All right. So we are going
yeah.
to go to, yeah, we will look at other areas. But if you feel that the income is very squeezed, all right, think about increasing your income. All right.
Mm,
Think about increasing your income. You can increase your income by starting other ventures, income generating ventures, so that you can add to your income. But you should be able to save, because saving will be able to save you in the future. Every time you save, you are saving for the future. So there are other things that you can look at. you need to turn some of those things into money. All right. You find that here is a situation you can't save and you can't have any money maybe to start a business and so on. You can look around the house, your house. The other time I was passing through Chilenge, I found one house where outside they had the clothes, which they were selling. All right. So we find that in our homes, we have so many things that we are not using, and we may never even use them at all. So if we can turn some of those things into money, it will help us to accumulate our savings. All right. Maybe you sell the share which you are not using, you sell whatever you are not using, you are able to get that money and add to your savings. So that's very important. Uh, we need to, there's another word which we, as savers, we need to learn about it. Living, sometimes you need to live a frugal type of kind of life. All right. What we need, I was checking the other time on Facebook, people discussing. There's a group. You've seen a group. They are calling themselves SMARS.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, there's such a group. They call themselves SMARS, but that's them. The abbreviation is a Stingy Men Association of Zambia, something like that. But when you are a frugal person, we don't use that word stingy because stingy is not the right word. A frugal person is a person, for instance, in a house, all right, you know exactly what you need. For instance, you want to prepare your meals. Check yourself how hungry you are, all right? If you see that you are not very, prepare something small so that you don't waste your food. So what I'm trying to say is that always reduce wastefulness in whatever you do. Reduce wastefulness. You're going to find that you have something extra to save when you reduce your waste. Yes. Um, the other thing that you can also do is sometimes, us as human beings, we have very bad spending habits. All right. For instance, today you are earning, say, a 5,000 kwacha. All right. And you are under pressure. All right. If you're a Christian, you go and kneel down to God to say, God, please double my income. And God answers that question. Your income goes to 10,000. Then you find that come after 3 months, you find that the same person who was saying, I'm going to be okay if my income is doubled. What happened is under pressure again. So
That's
we
true.
usually, yes, we usually add more expenses deliberately to ourselves. So the moment you're going to watch your expenditure, you need to watch your expenditure. Here is a 25-year-old person, a old guy, just gotten a job. And you have this life, you used to depend on your parents. Maybe you would spend less than a 500 kwacha per month. Here you get a job, you earn yourself 1,500. What does that person do? They want to start staying alone. All right. They want to increase expenditure, increase on rentals, increase the extra food, and so on. So that's what usually brings pressure. So the moment we are telling you to say, watch your expenditure, meaning that you need to see how much you can save. Take advantage of other situations. All right. You have free accommodation. Why can't you just continue maybe for a couple of years, maybe 2 years? Imagine how much you can save. All right. So those, if you are able to curtail the bad habit of spending, you'll be able to save. And people usually find it very difficult because of that habit. All right. The natural habit that we have of spending. Sometimes, I'm sure let's say you have money in your pockets or in your handbag. You are just in town. You find that there are some shops which will be just attracting you. You didn't even plan for them. No, I want to turn into pep. Yeah, but
Mm,
just of
wow.
something that money you did not plan it on that. Then for some of us who are at our workplaces, there are these people who usually come to our workplaces. Oh, I'm selling this. All right. Oh, this is a good price. You will never find this such a price anywhere else. You just because it is a good price you want to spend and you didn't budget for it. So that those are some of the bad spending habits. And
Mm,
these organizations, the retail organization, they really know our habits. That's why they would come with the posters to say buy one and get one free. And you would
mm.
think for it's free. It's not even free. The best way you can do is to understand what each item costs. What's the real value? The moment
Mhm.
you understand the real value of anything that you buy, anyone who comes to you to say this one where it's on promotion, you are going to know to say, oh, it's not on my budget. I'm not going to spend it on this one. I'm keeping this money for my goal. Like I said from the beginning, you need to have spending the saving goals. Only when you have saving goals, you can effectively save. Thanks, ma'am.
Wow, wow, wow. David, welcome to the financial literacy segment. Please feel free to ask your questions whenever you have a question and also contribute to this lovely topic.
Sure, thanks very much. I'm trying to do some catch ups first. I think I'll be able to chip in at the right time. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. So, guys, if you've got any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments, and we'll be able to, just show your question, and Joel will be able to answer that question. And for those that are part of the practical table, you can actually come into the studio and we'll add you to the screen and you can actually participate. These are one of the benefits of actually being part of the practical table. So we have a question, Joel, and this question is from Mwansa. Mwansa says, I used to have difficulties saving money. Because each time I started saving, something will always come up that will pressure me to go into my savings, and I will get back to square one. So I decided to open an account back home in Zambia and set up a direct debit from my current account here in England where my salary goes. I can only access that money when I'm back home. I have deactivated online banking to that account. That account is attached to an MTN phone, which is back home with my sister. Oh, okay. So actually, that is not a question, but this is something that Mwansa is actually sharing with us in line with something that you talked about, Joel, when it comes to the deduct.
Yes,
So what Mwansa actually did is he made sure that his salary actually goes into an account that he's got no frequent access to. Because believe you me, whenever you've got money, it's very easy to, be tempted to just dash to the bank and actually just go and withdraw your money. I think for that, I can also attest to, what Mwansa has done, because for me, I save with a bank, one of the banks, I won't mention names, but I save with one of the banks that actually don't have ATM cards. So the main reason why I decided to do that is because, when you have an ATM, it's very easy to, locate the nearest ATM and withdraw. And then also, they currently don't have any online banking. So I cannot buy airtime off my account using my phone. So you see, whenever I'm under pressure, I think about, having to drive all the way, and that just demotivates me. So guys, let us keep saving, let us keep growing. Um, we have something. We have something from Naona, and Naona says, I'm not doing any business for now. How do I start saving when my salary is gone before it comes? In some months, it never comes on time. Good
Wow.
question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah, I
Mm,
think on that one, the best is, like I mentioned, you need to control your money. You need to
mm,
control your money. Why is your salary going before it has arrived? Usually, you find that maybe because you have debts. All right. And
mm,
apart from the debts, we also have these other like utilities. You find that water is waiting, your rentals are waiting, electricity is waiting, DSTV is waiting, all those. All right. And you find that your income may be less than what you need to put on. So the best, like I mentioned, you have to increase your income, lower your expenditure. All right.
mhm,
For like I've mentioned on frugal living, uh, you can move from DSTV. For instance, you go to there's cheaper ones like GoTV. It's the same CNN you want to watch. It's the same BBC. So you deliberately reduce on the expenditure, or sometimes go a month without them, because then replace them with something else. Maybe you read a book, you participate in this forum like this one. So these, they will be able to help you think rather than just getting entertained all the time. So find ways where you can reduce your expenditure and find ways where you can increase your income. So you are going to have something to save. Don't increase your income deliberately. Yeah.
okay. One of the questions that I actually prepared for you, Joel, was what has made people to save, but within a short period of time, they want to use their savings and start all over again. I know you have touched a little, but I would love you to go deeper.
Bad spending habits. Oh, that is. But in the financial psychology, it talks
Mm-hmm,
about the way we spend. All right. Um, I think you can agree with me. Every time we don't have money, we
mm-hmm.
become very good people in terms of budgeting, plans, and everything. We are so brilliant when we don't have money. Okay.
Culprit.
But let money come today. You will start forgetting everything. Let me give you an example. All right.
Mm-hmm,
This is we're in March. All right. You are able to budget what you will spend in April, right?
mm-hmm.
What you are going to budget for, it will come automatically because you don't have that money. It will come automatically and it will be those priority things. Have you ever budgeted to say, in April, I'm going to buy pizza or I'm going
No,
to buy chocolates in April? You have
no,
never done that.
no, I have.
But buying pizza or chocolate will come it's a same day thing. All right. You just get into town and say, oh, that's a pizza shop, and you go there. No one usually budgets for that. All right. So those are some of the psychological elements that makes us not to save. You
Mm-hmm.
find that we miss on saving because we don't prioritize on things, and we
Yeah.
don't usually who wants to reason to say, I'm just going to spend this much, but I won't benefit anything. So we need
Mm,
to find a where we can stop some of the expenditure. The
yeah.
bad expenditure needs to be stopped. All right.
Mm,
So the other thing we need to start to stop is wastefulness.
mm,
Whatever which goes to waste, let us be able to stop, and we'll be able to ensure that we save. Uh, you find that within a short period of time, there are some other genuine pressure that will come. Uh,
Yeah.
like if, for instance, you are sick, you need medical attention, you want to assist someone. That's why you need to have an emergency fund with yourself.
Mm,
Everyone needs to have an emergency fund. All right. This emergency fund will help you not to disturb your savings. For instance,
mm,
if you have put an emergency fund of 1,000 kwacha, and you say if something happened, if 1,000 kwacha is unable to solve it, then there's nothing much I can do. All right. So that will be your emergency fund. And that emergency fund, you have to put it very close so that you can jump on it whenever there's an emergency. But again, the same temptation can go to the emergency fund. You find that there's somebody who is just troubling you outside. You want to jump on the emergency fund. There's one person who told me something, how they managed to keep their emergency fund. They told me to say they had an emergency fund of something like a 4,000 kwacha. But how they did it, they had put it in a picture frame, and the picture frame was sealed. All right, and there was a picture and put on the wall. So meaning that if they are going to have a proper images, they will have to break the picture frame. So meaning
yeah.
that the good reason
Mm,
to use the emergency fund. So for any emergencies, we should be able to have an emergency fund, and we'll be
mhm.
able to protect our savings. Yeah.
Okay, great. Now that you've touched on emergency funds, I love to really address, the religious mentality. The religious mentality. The religious mentality has really dealt with us believers in so, so many ways. Somebody can say, why should I have an emergency fund? Am I anticipating that something is going to go wrong? And because of that, they say, no, I will not have an emergency fund. But you have to realize that this time that we are in, a lot of us are not progressing in our lives because of a religious mindset. You see, even the Bible says that in this world we're going to have trials and tribulations, but we should be of good cheer because Jesus has overcome. So a lot of people think that when you have an emergency, then you're not a child of God. Or even when you're trying to prepare for an emergency, then you're not a child of God. It's like insurance. In some
Yeah.
countries, modern countries, well-developed countries, insurance is a must. In order for you to go to the hospital, you need to have insurance. For instance, in the United States, like in order for you to access medication, you have to have insurance. So, guys, from this segment, let our mind be renewed. Let our mind be renewed to say, having an emergency fund is not really that you are declaring or proclaiming, a tragedy that's going to come. It's just being aware because seasons change. Just like there'll be a sunny season, there'll be summer, there's also going to be winter. So we just have to get prepared for one of those times. Joel, I don't know if you have anything to add to
Yeah.
that mindset.
Exactly, Inonge. Having an emergency fund is something like you remember that story in the Bible, the story
Mm,
about Joseph, all right? That he was told by God about something that is going to come in the future. He had to put everything to advise everyone to put things in the stores for emergency, all
mhm.
right? And when that famine come, they were able to go back to what they had put for their emergencies. So this is something that we should always do. All right.
Mm,
And the other aspect, Inonge, I think why people sometimes would go back to the money that they have saved. Like you have mentioned, this same uh, technology that has come, the world has advanced in technology. Now there are coming up with ideas on how we can access our money. All right. We have the mobile money, we have the ATM cards, we have the cashless, all those things.
Mm.
But if you are so prudent with the savings, you have to reduce on these things.
Yeah.
All right. I myself, I don't even have an ATM card.
Mhm.
All right. So you reduce some of those things, and develop a system of, if you are to spend, use cash, because sometimes when you go into a shop with a card and say you think those things are for free, only when
Mm.
you see the balance going down, that's when you realize to say, oh, I was not just playing when I was in that shop. All right. But when you use cash, get 100 kwacha, pay the shopkeeper. There's that feeling of control that you have. No wonder you are able to wait for change. But when you use the electronic gadget, you're going to swipe, then the bank, you see afterwards, the bank starts sending you a course. You have 10 kwacha a charge for using this facility. Whilst
Mm.
with cash, you're going to wait for change. But here's the situation, you have these things being deducted from your money and you feel okay. All right. So those who create those bad spending savings habit, because you'll be able to go back to your money, to your savings, and fill on the void that you've created because of moving with these gadgets. Yeah.
That's true. Well said, Joel. Well said. You
All
know,
right.
um, we understand that it is not meaningful to save in times where there are high inflation rates, as your money will keep on losing value. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah. Like I said, every time you just save, mere saving, again, it's not good. You just have a bank account, this money is just raising. But the best now is to save and invest. You invest, you need to have, like, that's why these sessions that we are going to have, they are financial literacy. All right.
Mm.
With financial literacy, you need to understand to say, where is our inflation? All right.
Mm.
Currently, we are standing up to about 21% inflation, meaning that if you are going to invest your money, when we say in finance advisories, when we say investing, we are not usually saying you go and venture into a business, no, but where you are putting your savings, should you have an interest or a profit somewhere. So where you
Mm.
invest your money, ensure that it's able to beat inflation. Like right now, if you are to save, don't save in areas that gives less than 21% per annum. And those who are in other countries, you find that in other countries, your inflation rates may be okay. Other countries is 9%. Other country, good countries, is even 4%. So meaning that your savings, your investment can go just above your inflation rate. But here,
Mm.
like here in Zambia, it has to be above 21%. Then you know that
Mm.
whatever you are saving, you could keep on retaining the value. So you need
Mm.
to save in those areas. Then for instance, if you are saving for a house, then I was chatting with one friend who was telling me about he wanted to save in order to buy, not to build a house. He wanted to buy. So as he was saving, the houses that he was targeting, they were going at around 350,000 at
Mhm.
that time. Yeah. So every time he reaches that amount, he goes to negotiate. He finds that now the houses he can buy, they are that house he was targeting is now gone up. So
Mhm.
what about is same applies to those who wants to build. As you are building, you find that materials, the cost for materials, they keep on rising. So what do you do? The other part, what you can also do is every time, for instance, you have the money that is able to buy, say, pockets of cement, it's better you buy pockets of cement and build. You get to another level, you save maybe for the window frames, you go and buy window frame and you maybe keep them. So that's how you can be able to beat the inflation that you are asking, Inonge. Those are
Mm,
some of the things that you can do. Yeah. Then there are also some short-term investments that you can go for, like you heard me, I mentioned like Bayport and so on. You can consider that. In the session that will be coming, probably next month, we are going to look at those ventures where you can save, you can invest your money. All right.
mm,
Here in Zambia or elsewhere, you have so many areas that you can invest your money. We have the government bonds. So here we are going to direct you to say, if you want to save, say in back, government bonds, how much return are you expecting and where can you go and how much, what is your minimum, what if there's maximum, how much is your maximum. So we'll be
mm,
able to discuss all those things. There are other areas where you can invest. Other people are so interested in they want to create wealth for themselves. You look at the stock exchange, all right. For instance, the Lusaka Stock Exchange. What shares can you buy? So we'll be able to have sessions where we discuss which companies are performing well, all right,
mhm.
and and where you can invest and what return you expect. And you'll be able to discuss all those things. From everyone's contribution, we'll be able to have a very good answer for that.
Wow, wow, wow. You know what? I guess I'm not the only one who's been enlightened, especially when it comes to saving in times when the inflation is actually high. So, guys, now we're going to be opening the flow to questions. Please ensure that you drop those questions because understanding will establish you. And at this point in Moments with Inonge, we are doing everything by all means to ensure that you get understanding. In all things, get understanding. And this is what we are trying to do. We're trying to ensure that you actually, by all means, get understanding. So in the studio, in the background, we have Irene Gondwe and we have David, and these are some of the members of the practical table. So Irene and David, if at all you've got any questions concerning savings, please, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Joe is here to um, attend to your questions.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, hi.
Okay. Mine is not really a question, but I think a contribution.
Okay,
And
go
I
ahead.
just want to say for a start that, just like a believer or a new believer in the Lord, it is very difficult to start tithing, okay? Removing a portion of your income to give to God, that which belongs to God at the end of the day, actually. So is the case with
Seven.
saving,
Exactly.
because when you are saving, your budget many times is above your income.
Exactly.
Okay, so for you to start saving, it requires a lot of discipline. And one thing for
Mm,
sure is that saving is very painful, just like tithing is very painful. But tithing has its own benefits, just like saving has got its own benefits. The only one of the major challenges that we have, especially in developing countries, is that we don't have people that mentor us even as we are growing, more so when we go to start working. So we begin to learn the strings as we are growing. We are very different from, for example, the Asians and other people who are taught whilst they're still very young. But for us, you have to learn it the hard way. But what I want to say is that we should not get discouraged. Saving is the best way to go if you want to develop on a personal note or a personal ground.
Exactly.
No matter how much you have, always find a bit of some money to save. It is up to you what percentage you want to save, because
mm,
at the end of the day, you will need that money for one thing or the other.
Yes.
Say one thing. Yes. The day I started employment, I never had any money. So the moment I begin to work, maybe my salary is 2,000. Let me compare myself from 0 to 2,000. It means I have something. And if I have 2,000, then I can save something, but still be able to remain liquid because I'll still remain with something. I just need to mind, like you said, my expenditure. Where am I staying? What kind of house am I renting? What is my lifestyle in terms of food and the like, so that I can be able to manage from within the amount of money that I am getting. But it is true. Let us proceed and save as far as we can manage. If we are able to go into joint accounts so that it becomes very difficult to access the money, so be it. You've talked about issues of inflation and things like that. Yes, but right now there are so many other investments that are on the market. These saving groups, some are called village banking and things like that. At the end of the day, you find your interest is over 40%. So there are so many ways in which we can invest. But the bottom line is that let us begin to save if we have to make progress on a personal note. Thanks very much.
You have nailed it, David. Thank you so much.
Noted indeed. Noted indeed. Thank you so much. Irene, do you have anything, any question, any contribution? Um,
Hello, good evening,
Yeah,
Evening.
Joel and David and Dinonge. I'm sorry, I joined in late, but I got something. I really got something. I liked what Joel said, like how you can save. If you can cut down on certain expenses, like maybe luxuries, so to say. Like he mentioned to say if you use what you call it, DSTV. Why don't you lower to maybe Go TV or something like that, so that you can, that remaining amount of money can be saved. And I like that point really. I think that's what I really I got. At the end of the day, it helps you to say you can say, oh, what am I going to save? But look at your lifestyle and how can you how can you reduce certain costs, and how can you um, like by reducing certain costs to be able to save up to save much more than you would ever think.
exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thanks.
much, Irene, for that
Yeah.
contribution. One thing that we need to realize is that even when we're going about our lifestyle, you need to know that you're not indebted to the people that are outside, for you to live a luxury lifestyle. It's all about you. It's all about your goals. Say today, if you decide to get on a bus instead of a taxi. If you decide, we have everyone, like people watching from all over the world, so if you decide to use a train instead of using the bus, it's about you at the end of the day. Like Joel said, serve with goals, because you're the one that will be able to know to say, okay, I'm cutting down on my expenses because I want to live better in future by obtaining this particular something. So at the end of the day, don't feel indebted by the pressure outside, because you don't know, maybe that person that you're actually feeling you have to impress. Maybe they have life easy. Maybe they have finances easy. Maybe they have more streams of income than you do. So by you now trying to match their level, you'll be doing yourself some great injustice, and somehow you will not grow financially, and you may end up in debt. And that's something that really can be, strain. It can strain your mind. It can really, really stress you. So at this point, Joel, any closing remarks on how to save money?
Well, thanks so much, Inonge. Yeah, when you get dedicated to saving, there is a feel good factor that you're going to create for yourself. Inonge, if for instance you are hungry, all right, and you don't have money with you, but you will know that you have a 300,000 in the bank. There's even if that pen is there, it won't even hurt you. All right, there's that feel good factor that you will always have when you have some savings somewhere. You will never get depressed because you know that you've got a financial backup. No matter how much you don't have with you, but you know that you have the money in the bank. All right. Even if somebody say, look at you, you look like you are not working, you won't even feel it because you know that what I have in the bank is more than what you feel I have. So in a nutshell, savings, when you begin to save and when you graduate, the start is usually very difficult. But when you graduate, for instance, your saving goals is 1,000 kwacha per month. It will be very painful to save 1,000 kwacha, painful to save 2,000, 3,000. But as it gets to 10,000, 11, you start feeling good. And you even start asking yourself to say, why am I not saving 2,000? Why am I saving 1,000? So it will become so funny. All right. Like I've mentioned, if you join the 7 groups, you find that you learn from others and you are able to motivate others. So in savings, the other thing, the advantage with saving is that it is from savings. You should know that it's from savings that creates investments. All right. So only when you save, that's when you can invest. Because how can you invest if you don't have something to invest? The
Mm.
the other thing that I can mention also is as we are closing, let everyone expect very good discussions on this forum. Next week, as we will also look at the development from what we have just discussed on how to manage debts, because debts, there are other aspects that affects our savings. All right. You find
Mm.
that people come outside with police people. What are you going to do? You are going to pounce on your savings. But again, the opposite of the feeling, the way you feel if you have savings, is how you feel when you have debts. When you have debts, you can't have peace. All right.
That's
You find that somebody is eating and that food you can't even feel it because of debts. So the feeling that you receive when you have debts is the opposite of what you feel when you have savings. When you have savings, you feel good about yourself. So thanks so much. Those are the last remarks. I'd like to thank everyone who participated. Uh, Prepare yourselves. There'll be more nice topics that will be coming. Like I've mentioned, next week we're going to look at how to manage debts. And let's invite others. There are so many people who are affected by debts. I've, we
mm.
have picked this topic because a lot of people, when you see their pay slips, they only just get paid the paper, the pay slip itself. But now, when we discuss in the next week's topic, we can discuss how they can come off that debt situation and be able to control their finances, start saving. Thanks so much.
You are welcome. Guys, thank you so much for being part and parcel of tonight's financial literacy segment. Irene and David, thank you for joining me. And Joel, thank you so much for coming. And guys,
You're welcome.
Joel actually has a page on Facebook. Please, I encourage you to like and follow the page. It's JM Investment School. Please, please, please follow this page, like this page for more insights. You know, in whatever way we can actually find knowledge in order to grow, let's actually take those paths and stick to those paths because we definitely need to grow. Every day we need to be enlightened, our mind needs to be renewed. Let us also be on social media for the right reasons. At this point, we cannot go without acknowledging those that have actually taken part in this segment by dropping their comments, by liking, and also sharing. So we had a comment from Chanda Banda, and Chanda actually says yes with a goal. That means I think she was actually agreeing to say save with a goal. And we have another comment. Um, Actually, we have Geoffrey, and Geoffrey was actually tagging somebody, Purity Heart, to come online and just join us in the segment. And we have Mwansa. Mwansa was saying, I like the picture frame concept for emergency funds. So do I, Mwansa. I mean, I'm so enlightened, and I just want to, develop that, because by the moment you start to strike that picture frame, like, you just think to yourself, is this really an emergency? Is this really worth breaking the frame? And we have a comment from Hillary, and Hillary says, thanks for the great program. Welcome, Hillary. You're welcome. And we have another comment from Moses, and Moses says, have learned so much tonight. Every little saving matters. The other way someone can save is through piggy banks by dropping in every coin. Thank you so much for that contribution, Moses. I am so, so glad that you've taken time to be part and parcel of tonight's segment. So we have a comment from Mwansa, and Mwansa says, thank you for this insightful program, guys. You are welcome, Mwansa. And we have a comment from Musema, and Musema says, thank you very much, team. We are enlightened. Well, guys, you just have to stay tuned and glued to Moments with Inonge. And please, I aid you, do like and follow JM Investment School. Thank you so much, guys. So just before we actually end this segment, for those that are not too familiar with the schedule on Moments with Inonge, every Sunday we have the inspirational segment, and please take note that the financial literacy segment comes on Monday in place of the motivational segment. It is only because we had our women's celebration yesterday that we actually had to push it to Tuesday. So it is every Monday, 19:45, 7:45 p.m. Central African time. And then every Tuesday, we have the leadership segment. And guys, for those that want to be part and parcel of the practical table, please ensure that you subscribe. It's only 50 kwacha for 2 weeks and 100 kwacha for 1 month. So you can kindly inbox me if you have any question, any queries you want to find out concerning the practical table. Otherwise, the practical table is the place to be, because we actually share proven success strategies. And in as much as we're sharing that, we also go a step further as to share also practical steps, because a lot of people have the knowledge, but they haven't actually begun to build on that knowledge that they have by taking, practical steps. So that's what the practical table is all about. It's about you getting proven success strategies and also getting practical steps, being accountable to others, and beginning to make that progress by all means. So guys, ensure that you subscribe for the practical table, which this week's practical table starts on the 11th, which is actually Thursday. So guys, stay tuned. Joel, I just want to thank you. For coming and sharing the vast knowledge that you have. You are actually a great financial advisor, and I appreciate all the financial advice that you actually render to me. So thank you so much, and have a blessed night. You're welcome. So for those on the practical table right now, we'll be switching to our Zoom meeting where we are actually discussing procrastination. So see you on the other side. Guys, thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for sharing, for following, and being part and parcel of tonight's segment.